Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. Today I have another video for all of you viewers here, and this video is with regards to my PMP lesson learned. So I have taken my PMP exam on November 7, 2020. So I would like to share with you guys my lesson learned experience so that I hope with these lesson learned videos you guys will be more excited to take the exam and follow the paths that I have taken before, so that I hope with this video you guys are able to pass the exam in the first try. So I was in the internet last month when I saw a quote given by the Joker, the Batman and Joker quotes. I saw that it's mentioned a mistake can cost you million, but a lesson learned can bring back billions. So when I saw this quote, I just remember that I should do a video about my lesson learned, so that I hope I can help more people to pass the exam in the first try. So here we goes. Okay, so I have made this lesson learned document. It is actually based on my written lesson learned. I will share the written lesson also to you guys, but this video is divided into three sections. So the section A is my during the training course, where I gonna get my education hours to sit for the exam. So the training was held on 24 August until 28 August 2020. So this is the first section. The second section is after the training course, where I do my own preparation from 29 August until 6th of November. And then this is what I have done during this preparation. Okay, and section C is during my proctor exam where I have taken the proctor exam in my office, where the exam was held on 7 November 2020 on Saturday at 9 a.m. So I will share also what happened just few days before the exam and during the exam day. The first section here is during the training exam. During the training at the local academy. So during this training, it was held during just after the first MCO in Malaysia. So the COVID-19 standard operating procedure still has been done, and the local training academy here, which is called Bridget, they have followed the SOP and they make the class arrangement in such a way where it is in the far distance between the participant of this training. So I was sitting in the last row during this training to get for these 5 days, to get my 40 hours of education. And then it's very difficult for me to sit at the back. This is my table where I sit through. It's quite far, so it's a big challenge for me. But I still prefer this traditional class training, because this is better for me, I think, to get the information rather than the video class training, which was I think is very hassle for me and I could not concentrate. So with the strict compliance in the COVID-19, so it's very disadvantage for me at that time. I find it very challenging. However, I rather to do this in the class rather than do it in the video training. Okay. During this training, I was just being introduced about the terms PM book and agile. This is the first time for me to hear about this PM book and agile during this training. So I would recommend that during this training, we have to really concentrate of what to understand the project management term in the perspective of the client, developer, and sponsor point of view. We must not look at the project manager in the perspective of the subcontractor or the main contractor or the vendor. We have to put it in the view of the client or the developer or the sponsor. Okay, and it is my advice to all of you during this training is to temporarily put aside your past knowledge and belief about project management, because you want to get the pure information from the trainer. Then during this training also, there will be a pop-up question during this training. If the local training the local training are giving you a pop-up question, is much better. I hope they give you a pop-up question like this, so that when you do the training, when you go undergo the training, you also can see what are the sample question that will be asked during the real exam. So with this question also, you will be able to understand fast and get a clear picture fast about what are the project management professional training preparation is all about. Okay. And then you have to, during this training also, you will be introduced about the relation between the process and knowledge area in the project management. First time I heard about there are like 49 processes that you have to understand. So it is not a simple, it looks very difficult, but it's actually you have to understand first the relation between the process available in this course training. So you will be first also will heard about the ITO. ITO is actually input, tools, and technique outputs. So first time you will understand that within all the processes, within all the 49 processes, there will be an ITO for the processes. So you have to understand the relation, and only you can understand better what is the purpose of the ITO. Understand the process within the 10 knowledge area, and then you will understand what is the ITO. So during this training, it is always best to keep your mind open, and you must not base on the previous experience too much. You must try to put aside your previous belief or your previous knowledge about project management, just in order for you to quickly understand during this training. So if you can understand the 49 process within the 10 knowledge area and the relation, you will understand. This is like the key for you to understand the project management. So during this training days also, during this 5 days training also, it is advisable for you to quickly do a nighttime revision during this training week. Because in order for you to implant the knowledge quickly into your mind, you must not take too long to do a revision of what you learn from the trainer during the training. Nighttime, you quickly do a revision, so that this will help you to understand, to implant what is in your memory better if you don't wait too long. Okay, I would like to let you all know that during this exam is the best. Okay, once you when during the exam is the best, you put your mindset to the exam mode, that you already know when you have somewhere where you want to take the exam. So for my example here, I already set during the last day when we got this certificate. This is the certificate, this is my certificate for my completion of this training, 5 days 40 hours of the education hours that we receive. So during this last day, I already set my mindset to exam mode, where I will take this in November. I got it in August, I will take it in November. I already set that. So that from there only you will have a clear picture, you will plan your study properly to the exam day. And again, I would like to emphasize that you must concentrate to understand the relation between the process and the knowledge area first before you start memorizing the process, and before you start memorizing all the items included in the ITO. So you must understand the relation. If you saw a question, if you saw a sample of a question of the exam question, as a practice question, you must know exactly this question is referring to what. What is the process that the question is referring, and what is the knowledge area that the question is referring, so that only you can remember what is the ITO exactly for this process and knowledge, and then you will know how to answer. Sometimes the answer is already there, the A, B, C, D there. Okay, so this is what has been done. This is what my learning during this 5 days of training, where I gained 40 hours of education unit, okay, to sit for my exam. Okay, section B. Once I have done finished my training there, this is the time, section B, where I have to do my own preparation. I have to study by myself, make a revision. So what are the steps that I have taken first? Okay, the first step that is very crucial is for me to quickly be registered to PMI website and set up my account. So when I go to the website, I will have to fill in the form like this. This is an example of the form, and I have to fill in all the previous experience that is required here. Quickly get this done and submit to PMI first. Once you got your account, quickly set this up and submit to PMI. I have previously I have like more than 10 years of experience working as a project manager in the construction industry. So I have written back every single experience that I have before, and then I quickly submit. Then, once I have registered myself to PMI, quickly I have applied the PMP exam and choose the exam date. I have chosen to take the exam in my office where it's a proctor exam, and I have chosen on the November 7 is my exam date. But I have finished my although I have finished my training in August in 20 on the 8th of August, I finished my training. Only on 29th September only, I have set my exam on the November 7th. Because it is very important for you. I will explain to you why. Because you want to set your mindset. The moment you got it registered, only your mindset is set for the exam. If not, your study plan will not be too serious. It will be like a very light study only because you have no pressure at all because you don't have the direction when you want to take the exam. So your study will, for my experience, my study has not been very serious since then. So it is important to set the exam date and book the exam officially. Okay, I during my own preparation, I have most of the time I in September I take the exam in November, but during after the training in September, my first month of study, although I have like 2 to 3 months like that, 2 months, 2.5 months, my first month I study only reading. I have these are the reading material that I have. This first year is the presentation slide manual handout from during the training they have given to me. This handout, the slides during the presentation is all based on the PM book. It all based on PM book guide number 6, the 6th edition. And although my study actually is mostly based on this handout that given by Bridget. Okay, most of my study given by Bridget. However, I have go through also. I have go through very fast also PM book guide. But I found whatever the information in this handout is already what has been derived from PM book. And this handout is very convenient for me to get the information fast because I only have like 2 months. So for me to read the entire PM book guide with the 600 pages within the 600 plus pages, I will take more time. So I don't think I have time. But I have concentrate in reading this manual, like this handout slide. But there are some important that need further understanding, I have to refer to the PM book. And during this time also, I have take out the ITO, I have print out the ITO separately. So while reading this, I have taken the ITO that I showed just now, the whatever the process or the ITO for the 49 process, I have print out and have it handy at my hand so I can flip through and familiarize with the project knowledge area in the PM life cycle. So when I was studying this manual and while I was studying this PM book, I have my ITO handout at my hand also. It's very handy for me to flip through whenever I read the chapter, whenever I was at any knowledge area, so that this is the way for me to understand the relation between the processes. First is very tough. Once you understand the processes, it will be very easy for you. Next, Only in October, I realized that my strategy in September to do the only on October I started to answer the mock exam and the online practice exam. During September, I just do the reading. Everything is based on reading. So I realized in October that my strategy is wrong. Actually, my strategy is not right. I only realized in October that I should also started early to answer the mock exam and the online practice exam. And in October also, when I realized this is a sample of the practice exam, where this is a very good example, good practice exam, because it already have the time and you will know that how long that you have taken you for to answer the question, how long you've taken, maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes you have taken. So I would suggest in October, I have changed my method of study where I have do the reading and practice exam question done at every alternate day. For example, if today I reading the knowledge material, the book, I read the PMP book or I read the hands-out slide, the next day I will start doing some of the practice exam. Either is the full practice exam or what, or is just the part by part practice exam. I still look at the question. These are also the sample of the question. It's quite long. Okay, so what I can say is when you do concurrently do the reading and the practice exam will boost your learning to identify the important learning aspect. So some of the information when you read the PM book, when you read the heads up, some of the you think that some of the information you thought that it is not important, but when you read the question, suddenly you realize that wow, there are some information in the PM book or some information in the hands up that you thought are less important, but when you didn't realize that that kind of important information that you thought that is not important suddenly can become important when you know that there are questions can be based from that information that you think that is not important. So that's why I say study the PM book, study the hands up slide, but also at the same time you study the practice exam. You do the practice exam at the same time. Then alternate day. What I can say about the practice exam is the practice exam is not just for you to understand the knowledge, okay, not for you to understand better the topics of the PM book, but it's also help you practice your reading skills and understanding the skill along with visualization. Okay, visualizing the question. For example, you have to practice yourself to read the question, and at the same time while reading it you have to imagine the scenario. You imagine most of the practice exam question is scenario based, so you have to quickly imagine so that you can find the answer fast. For example, the question is about what the project manager should do next, and they give you a scenario. First they give you a scenario and they ask you what should you do next. If while reading the question, the scenario, if you can imagine the scenario in your mind and in front of your eyes, you can imagine what are the scenario, then most of the time it will be easy for you to find the answer in the selection answer A, B, C, D. Easy for you if you practice to visualize it. Secondly, you have to practice to catch the time because you don't have much time. You have 200 questions within 240 minutes. So one question is like 1 minute only. You have to put a par of 1 minute for one question. So in order to do that, you have to practice. Practice is everything about this. Not just to practice to understand the knowledge, but practice to understand the question. And secondly, by doing the practice exam also, you will get familiarized with the exam environment so that you have to make yourself very relaxed during the exam, because no matter how tough is the real exam, you want to be very relaxed. You want to have a clear mind. You want to get to know the taste of the environment during. You have to know already in your mind. You might have to set that you understand what is the exam environment so that you will not get nervous. Okay, I would say that you during the exam day I will explain later why it's important for you to be relaxed and get familiarized with the exam scenario. Okay. And the thirdly is for you to is advantage if you can memorize the entire ito. You can memorize is of course is an advantage for you if you can memorize the ito. However, understand the ito is more important. Okay, you can memorize, but if you don't understand, it will be very hard for you to relate, to remember the answer you during the exam. Okay, and once now we come to the third section is during the exam day. Okay, before we get to the exam day, I just like to let you know that 3 days before the exam, you will receive an email from PMI to check your system. The person view will software where you are going to use, you have to test your laptop, your computer that to make sure that your email, whether to make sure that your system are compatible to the software, and you want to make sure to check your connection, you want to check your camera, you want to check your microphone is working well, and then this is the time where 3 days before the exam you will do the checking. And I advise that you choose Saturday or Sunday. If you're taking the exam in the office, you can choose either Saturday or Sunday to avoid interaction in the office. I do not want to have anybody, let's say a mailman during the normal weekday, a mailman or somebody press the 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 bell that will disturb you during this exam. For example, I have a very small office only, so if the mailman come and knock, so it will be very disturbing for me during this exam. Or even then, I do not want to have my colleague to make. I don't want to have a noisy office during my exam. So I only choose Saturday and Sunday because that is the time that my colleague will not be around. Okay, this is an example of the email that you will receive to test your system. And I also want to let you know that you should have a plenty of rest before the exam day. You can do all your revision, your study, you can do all your revision study, but please, when you are near to the exam, let's say like these 3 days or 2 days before the exam, get a plenty of rest. You have to sleep well because you want to save your energy, just like a marathon runner. A marathon runner, they can do the training for 6 months, for 1 year. They want to take the marathon, they can do that. They can training for very long time. But when the marathon is near, the marathon day is near, they have to phase out their training and they have to relax the day where they want to keep their energy. Same like this PMI exam. The near you are to the exam day, you want to save your energy because during the exam day, you want to go all out. Okay. And during the exam day, I have arrived early on during the exam day because I arrived like 30 minutes earlier. So 1 hour, I took the exam at 9 o'clock and I came around 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. in the morning. So since I have the time, I taken a quick breakfast. The first thing that I do is I turn on my laptop, and then since I have the time, I went for a quick breakfast in front of my office here. There is a restaurant here. There I have taken my quick breakfast, but don't drink too much. I just let you guys know that don't drink too much before the exam. And 30 minutes after that, 30 minutes before my exam time, I started to do the check in my system and do the check-in process. And then I have completed all the check-in process and I waited. They won't let you check in until you have complete. You have to do the checking. They are going to ask you to take your office from different angle. You can use your laptop to take your office from the different angle. You do not want to use the phone because when during the check-in, I already put my phone outside of the room. I don't want my phone to interrupt me. I silent the phone. I put everything. I have cleared my table before that. A day before also, I have cleared my table. So I go to the exam. Okay, so I process. I took like 15 minutes for them to let me pass through the check-in, and I was relieved. Once check-in, they also asked me to read the tutorial to familiarize with the exam tools. So it is not that difficult. Just short time only for you to check the exam tools. They will have a whiteboard like this for you to write. For example, there is a question that need you to write or everything. So you can use this board, and they let you know also about the calculator. This is a typical question asked by the exam candidate, by the PMP candidate. They will ask, are they being given you a calculator? Yes, they will give you a calculator. The calculator is in the system, but you have to get familiarized to use, because sometimes it will take time also for you to use this. If you are not used with it, you're not familiar, then a bit difficult for you to, but you do not want to waste time. So go through the tutorial on how they will let you know how to use the exam tools. Okay, that's as I said just now, you must not drinking too much water before the exam, because you don't want to be interrupt where you have to go to the toilet early before the recess. And you have to also very make sure that the AC temperature, you have to control the AC temperature, because these two factors will affect you, will make you go to the toilet early. So you don't want to have that kind of interaction. And during taking the exam also, you do not want to be interrupted by the feeling of for you to need to go. Okay. When you enter the exam, this is my experience, what to share. You will have a plenty of time mindset where you will feel like this. I have 24. I still have like 230 minutes to answer this question. So you will tend to answer the first 10 questions slowly. You will read slowly in the beginning. So this is why you need the practice, to do a lot of practice exam. Okay, because you want to get familiar to the question, you want to get familiar to, you have to take short time to warm up. Okay, for you to, you have to, your mind have to go very fast, because you, whether it's at the early stage or at the end stage of the exam, you only have 1 minute plus for the one question. So while you doing the exam, keep tracking, to keep yourself to track the time, because you have 200 questions within 240 minutes. Okay, you're going to limit it for 1 minute per question, so you have to keep on tracking. So if you do a lot of practice exam before, you will be able to warm up yourself, your mind very fast. You can, your mind engine will be warm up very fast. Okay. And I can say here that majority of the question that I have gone through at that time, it was based, majority scenario based, and they will give you a scenario, and then they will ask what should the project manager do next. So this is why I explained that previously, that visualization skill while reading the question is so important. Yeah. Just imagine when you read the question, you can already like see a movie, you like see a Hollywood movie, what are the scenario like, and you can easily, you can find the answer. Okay. Okay, and during my exam time also, I can see that they are putting more emphasis on the knowledge area in terms of the stakeholder, risk and quality, perform integrated change control, resources, closing and lesson learned. And there are very less question on agile. And also they are very only like 5 question for me to do a calculation. But it is only a very simple calculation, and there was like only one question that need me to use the whiteboard and the calculator. Okay, so you have to have a mindset to win when you take, when you are doing your preparation, when you are taking the exam, you need to have a winning mindset. That's what I can tell you. Okay, before I end this lesson learned, I just want to share with all that you can use. I was very grateful actually before I go to this section. I just let you know that when I saw the congratulation message from PMI, it was the best time at that time for me, because I still can't believe that I passed the exam. I heard a lot of bad experience from other candidates. I heard it in the Facebook, a lot in the study group. I heard about it. So I hope you guys will have a smooth process during the exam. Okay, smooth exam, and you are very relaxed. You have to be relaxed yourself during the exam. Okay, that is more important. Okay, so you guys, before we end, I would like to share some of the download links that I think it will be useful to all. First will be the PDF version. You can look at the description, go to the description below and download the PDF version of my lesson learned. And then you can also download, I share here in the link description. In the description, there's a link also for Ricardo Vargas, RV. I call him RV. His material, his own material, Ricardo Vargas' own material on the process and knowledge relation chart. You can see what is the knowledge, the relation between all the 49 processes and all the 10 knowledge area. And you can see, I also share the RV explanation video. Is a YouTube video. Is explaining on this process chart. You can go to the link. I also share the link. And I also share the PMI Free Mock Exam link. This is a very good link for the mock-up exam, because this is very near. This link will get you this mock-up exam from PMI is the nearest to the closest to the real exam question. So I really encourage for you guys to download this. If you are already a PMI member, you will get it for free. But if you're not yet, maybe they will charge you some money for it. But it's the best if you are already a member. Quickly get this download. You can refer to the description below in this YouTube. You refer to the description and you can download, where I share with you all the link. And then I also share the new exam format training link. This is also from PMI, so you guys can check it out. Just download, and it's all the download is all for free. Okay, and I don't charge anything also for my PDF SLS. You guys can just freely download this. Okay, and yeah, you go. You guys, just you guys to let you know that I am from HSC. My company is HSC Engineering Sdn Bhd. I would like, on behalf of HSC Engineering Sdn Bhd, I would like to say thank you for all the viewers who have read this, who have go through this video for presentation for this lesson learned. And if you like this channel, this YouTube channel, you can download, you can click the subscribe button, and you can also click the like button for this video. You can also check out our Facebook page here, HSCESB. Okay, if you like, and you can like this page also. Okay guys, I hope this lesson learned will be useful to all the candidates for PMP. And check out my download links. I hope they are useful to you guys. Okay, so this is my vision to make sure that many of us would pass the exam during the first try. Thank you very much.